But let me tell you about a way you can step up your giving above your normal tithes and offerings that can have a profound impact on the future of the journey. And that is the NExT initiative. And if you've been around, you may know what that is, but you may have heard us talk about it. The NExT initiative is the Journey's 20-year, $20 million initiative that we launched on the 20th anniversary of our church. And the NExT initiative has 3 God-sized goals as a part of it. The first goal of the NExT initiative is to secure the future of the Journey Church. You see, what we're building here at the Journey, we don't want it just to last for the next 20 years, but we want it to last into the next generation and to continue. We want the Journey to continue having an impact for Jesus in New York City even after we're gone. The second goal of the NExT initiative is to double the ministry impact of the Journey Church. I mean, imagine over the next 20 years, if God chose to bless our church and we doubled the number of New Yorkers who heard the gospel because of the Journey, we doubled the number of salvations and baptisms, we doubled the number of mission trips that we go on, we doubled the number of people served and needs met, we doubled the number of lives impacted by Jesus Christ. That's amazing just to think about. But there is one area of our church that we don't want God to double. And that is the number of meeting locations that we've met in during the first 23 years of our church. And that's the final goal of NExT. It's to provide for a permanent meeting location and ministry center for the Journey Church here in the heart of New York City. You see, in the first 20 years of our church, we met in over 30 different meeting locations. We met in off-Broadway theaters. We met in the basement of a Ukrainian Orthodox church. We met in public schools, in large performance venues. We met in comedy clubs, in hotel ballrooms. We've even met in movie theaters. In fact, right now, we're meeting in the largest movie theater in Manhattan, right in the heart of Times Square. And we love it. I always say, you've got to be smart to attend the Journey because you never know where we're going to be next week. And listen, if God decides that as a church, He wants us to remain a portable church that meets in rented facilities, that's great. We've grown and we've had an impact, and God has blessed our ministries as we've been portable. And if we've got to set up and tear down every week, we will do that. But we also are praying that God will provide a permanent meeting space for our church. And so the NExT initiative goal is $20 million in 20 years, and that's by 2042. And you're like, why that goal? Why 20 years? Why that much money? Well, because we've talked to our real estate team, and we found out to own a space that is about 20,000 square feet. That's big enough to have an auditorium where we have services that seats at least 350 people, that has education space for children and youth, that has offices for our staff. To have a facility like that would cost over $20 million. And what we don't want to do is to move into a new space too early and to have a huge mortgage and to give the next generation, instead of giving them a gift of a space, we give them a burden of huge debt. And we don't want to do that. And so the goal is that we could get this much, we could raise this much over time and be able to invest in that space and give it to the next generation. And while some of us might not be there if the space is ready in 20 years, we're the ones responsible for preparing it for the next generation and investing in what God is going to do. And what's exciting to think about, we're 3 years into the NExT initiative. And to this point, it's going well. We've had over $800,000 that's already been given to NExT. And that's a great start. But as you know, we've got a long way to go. But listen, if we could get past that 1 million mark this year, if we could get to 2 million next year, that would give us some margin as we try to build our opportunity fund to take advantage of maybe even some short-term opportunities that God might put in front of us. For instance, there's empty office space. You may have noticed this. There's empty office space sitting all around New York City right now. And if God were to provide an opportunity, before we moved into a permanent space and built that out, but for a long-term lease, where we could lease a space that we use for weekly services, but we also use for our office and for educational space, and we were able to have that space 24/7 all the time rather than just renting it on Sundays, that could be a great short-term step for our church. But listen, it's going to take all of us giving to reach our goals. And so here's what I would like to encourage you to do today. Some of you have already made a 5-year pledge to NExT to help us reach our stage 1 goals. But if you've not made a pledge to NExT, on your connection card today, would you say that? Say, over this coming year, I want to make a pledge to NExT to give this much. You can do that on your connection card today. Let God stretch you, or you can make an initial gift today.